Good morning, everyone. Safety Mike here. Today we're talking about hard hats. Got one right here. The one I generally wear is a Type 1 Class E. Got my name on it. Even tells folks what I do. Sometimes we'll have injuries that result from not wearing your hard hat, and we'll ask folks why they didn't have them on. Well, let's take a look at some of the things that we're told. Usually, when someone starts wearing a hard hat, they might come up with the idea that it's too heavy. Well, it does weigh something, but really it only weighs probably as much as a couple of ball caps. It takes a little time and effort to put it on and get used to it, but you will get used to it. It's really not that bad. Sometimes guys will tell us that the temperature on their hard hat, it's just too hot. I can't wear it because it's too hot. Well, let's take a look at this hard hat we have here. This one is a Class C, which means it's for general impact with no electrical safety in it at all, but it is vented. And under a vented hard hat, that puts us at about 5 to 7 degrees less because it vents out. So the idea that it's too hot just doesn't work for us. Some guys will say it gives me a headache. Well, I'll tell you a little story. When I first started in construction several years ago, I had put mine on, and after wearing it for about 2 or 3 hours, when I took it off, I had a red band around my head, and I had a headache like nobody's business. Well, it's because I had put it on a little bit too tight. So loosen it up a little bit so that it fits well, it fits snug, but it shouldn't give you a headache. And if it does, you probably have it on a little too tight. Sometimes I also hear that it falls off. Well, it's pretty easy to fix that. Just give it one more click and it should stay on pretty well for you. Now, we're going to go upstairs and look at some information on each one of these hard hats. But I wanted to share those with you because sometimes we do have some pretty serious lacerations because guys aren't wearing their hard hats or bump caps when they should be. So let's run upstairs, we'll take a look at some of these, and then we're going to show you some videos of what can happen when we're not wearing. Okay, so we made it out to the shop, and we're going to take a look at some of these hard hats here. Now, this first one we have, this is a general hard hat, impact resistant. It's a Class C, which means it's conductive, won't protect you from electrical. There is a Class G, though, by the way, that I don't have a example of that would rate to 2200 volts. So if you need that, a Class G would be the way to go. These little clocks here, you'll notice it says, I believe it's 2 of 18 is where this one was. That means it is February of 18 was when this was made. So with that in mind, hard hats are good for 5 years. So if you're over 5 years old, it's time to get a new hard hat. They should be pliable, and that insert needs to be changed once a year. By pliable, I mean they shouldn't really be that hard. You should be able to have some flex in them. So if you have a hard hat, it's time to change it. This one here is actually called a bump cap. We use these sometimes with commercial and residential HVAC. Sometimes the plumbers will use them when they're under the porch or in crawl spaces and such. And there's a note right on here that says, it also gives you the date of manufacture. Again, go to 5 years. Any type of plastic is going to degrade. But it also, you can't really read it, but it says basically if you need ANSI standards for your hard hat, that is not the one to use because it's not terribly impact resistant. But it'll protect you in crawl spaces from, say, nails in the roof in the attic and such. So that'd be a good something for that one. This is one. It goes with an arc flash suit. That's where the face shield comes in at. It's got to be protected at all times. This is a Class E hard hat, and it protects up to 20,000 volts. So with that though, let's see if I can find our spot here. Class E hard hat, I think it's right over here somewhere where it tells us that. And you'll notice this this symbol right here that makes it look like they want to do some recycling. That means you can wear it backwards. So you'll notice on this particular hard hat, the headgear is put in backwards. So if that's your style, you are welcome to wear backwards. Just make sure you have that symbol inside of it. Again, the one that I wear is a Class E and Type 1. If it was a Type 2, it'd have side head protection like the baseball players wear. But we really don't need that, so that's not what we use. So, if you have any questions about hard hats or what type of bump cap you should be using, please ask your branch safety manager. All these are available through Martin Safety, and they give us a pretty good deal on them. So, again, thank you very much. And I got a couple of videos I want to share with you about what happens when you're not wearing your helmet.
Try. Benny, go ahead. In there.
No, le dieron en el puro corazón.
That went all the way through.
Buena. Ya está vivo.
All the way through. Look, guys. That was a piece of rebar this big. Remember, a watermelon has the same density as your skull does. So that would have been somebody's head in real life if that hit someone's head. Okay? Good job. Second watermelon. Go toss that one in the trash.
Tenemos dos. Aquí viene esa para acá.
All right, this one's going to deflect. This one's going to deflect. Hold on, Vinny. Hold on.
How come it says Roger O'Brien?
Nos va a quebrar la verga.
Video number 2, the hard hat. Watch yourselves. Go ahead, Vinny. Here we go. Look awesome! Look at that! Didn't even crack it, guys.
Didn't even crack it!